everybody. We are going to be presenting about the inductive thinking model. Our team includes
Bethany?
Kaylani.
And Nicole.
So the inductive thinking model is where students learn concepts by manipulating and exploring data. This enables students to generate knowledge as if they themselves were the scholars responsible for producing the insights into factual reality.
Teachers use this model to focus on building knowledge, attention to logic, and concept formation through the inductive thinking model. It includes a series of phases that unfold over time like acts in a play.
There are in total 5 steps of the inductive thinking model. The first step is students are given an unorganized set of pictures or data. Then students will identify and group content based on what makes the most sense to them. For example, they can use patterns, details, or characteristics. Next, students label their groups. And then students interpret their groupings and make new generalizations about the content with guided questions. And finally, students will regroup pictures or data by applying new generalizations about the content. So now I'm going to model inductive thinking with my first grade students, Nicole and Bethany. All right. So class, today I want to be able to see you guys identify and classify foods. What do you guys think that means, to identify and classify foods?
Like name them?
Yes, like naming them. Any other ideas?
To pick them?
Yeah, so we want to pick certain foods out, right? I'm going to show you guys pictures, so you guys are going to pick out certain foods from the pictures, okay? The other thing I want to hear you guys do is tell about different foods using descriptive words. So what are some examples of descriptive words that you guys can think of that you can use to describe food?
Little?
Little, so we could talk about how small or how big it is, so the size of it. What else?
Sweet.
Sweet, so how it tastes, right? So it might be sweet, sour, bitter, right? So there's different flavors to our foods. So those are some great examples of descriptive words that we can use. All right, so here are some pictures of different kinds of foods. Thumbs up if you guys can see them. Awesome. All right, so now I want you guys to work in partners and group these pictures based on what makes sense, what makes the most sense to you guys, okay? All right, so thumbs up if you guys understand what we're doing. Okay, so go ahead and you guys can talk in your partners. I want to hear you guys talk about your groupings, and I'll let you know when time is up, okay? Ready, set, go.
Okay.
Okay.
We should move these ones here.
And I think these ones should go right over here.
And then these can go here.
These kind of similar because of this, so we should put them together.
These ones should go here next.
And then that leaves these two, but luckily they're, they go together, so.
Awesome. I like how you guys were working well together. So now I want you guys to talk with your partners and label your foods with a descriptive word, okay? All right, ready, set, go.
Okay, this first one, they're all the same color, so we should label that one green.
And then these other ones, they're all red, so that should be their label.
And then the next one is orange.
And these are both purple, so.
And then these two are yellow.
And the last two are brown.
Awesome job, class. I heard so many descriptive words, and we're going to talk more about those descriptive words that you guys use to describe your foods in a minute, okay? All right, but first, I want to ask you guys, what did you and your group members see, and why did you all group certain pictures together? So you guys can use this sentence frame. We saw different blank and grouped them by blank.
We saw different foods and grouped them by color.
Awesome. All right. And can you think of another way to sort these foods besides color? There's some other ways. So we can also sort these foods by
We can also sort these foods by shape, by
shape,
size,
size.
or by what kind of food they are.
Awesome. So what kinds of foods they are? I like that one. So let's talk more about that. What are some other different kinds of food? So some different kinds of foods are what? I think there's at least 5 of them. So meat's one. Okay.
Fruits.
Fruit.
Veggies.
Veggies or vegetables.
Dairy.
Dairy. And what else? There's one more. Usually they're made out of little seeds that are ground up into flour.
Grains.
Grains. Nice job. So those are 5 groups. So 5 food groups. High five for those. All right. What kinds of foods did you and your group see in the pictures? So what kinds of foods did you guys see? So we saw
fruits and vegetables.
Awesome. So we saw fruits and vegetables. Now, how do you know if it is a fruit or a vegetable? So how do you know if that food is a fruit or a vegetable? What could we think about? So it is a fruit because blank. It is a vegetable because blank.
It is a fruit because it tastes sweet.
I like that. So it tastes sweet. How about a vegetable?
It is a vegetable because it's not sweet.
Awesome. I like how you guys notice how they're different in taste, right? So let's go ahead and think about that when we group and resort our pictures, okay? So I'm going to give you guys those same pictures and I want you to resort them, all right? Ready, set, go.
Okay, I think these ones need to go here.
All right, these 2 over here and all these other ones. Yeah. All these over here.
Awesome. I like how you guys regroup them, thinking about what we just talked about. Now, what kinds of labels would you use to describe these groups?
For the first one, I think the first one we can label it as vegetables.
Vegetables. Awesome. Why would we label those as vegetables?
Vegetables.
They're
but
vegetables.
How did they taste?
They're not sweet.
They're not sweet, right? How about the other group?
These ones, we can label them fruit because they're sweet. Like strawberries are sweet and coconut is sweet.
Awesome.
All these.
Nice job. And so we talked about the difference between vegetables and fruit. So vegetables, they taste not so sweet. So we call that bitter. Can we say bitter? Bitter or plain. So sometimes they may not have a flavor. And fruits, we talked about how they're sweet. So fun fact, fruits have a natural sugar in them. And those ones are okay for our bodies because they have something in them called fiber that processes those sugars, okay? And another fun fact are vegetables, they usually come from roots, stems, or leaves of a plant. So you guys know those things that grow from the ground? So they usually come from those parts of a plant. And fruits, they come from the seed part of the plant. That's why they usually have little seeds in them when you eat them, okay? All right, so thumbs up if we understand the difference between fruits and vegetables. Awesome. And I like how today we talked about, I wanted to see you guys identify and classify different foods, and we did that. So we classified fruits and vegetables, and you guys identified those. And I also like how you guys use descriptive words to describe how fruits and vegetables taste and also how they look. You guys notice it's different colors, and we could also, like you said earlier, we could use shapes and sizes. So nice job. Thumbs up for great work today. All right, and that's the end of our lesson. Okay,
Yay.
so let's talk about how we use the inductive thinking model in our lessons. So first, I gave Nicole and Bethany just a bunch of pictures of food. If you notice, I just said, here's pictures for them to sort. I didn't say it was food right away, and they sorted them by how that made sense to them. And Bethany could kind of lead more in how they did that.
The second step is where the students identify and group the content based on what makes most sense to them. So when we, as students, saw them, as first graders, saw them, the best way that we could group them that made the most sense to us was by color. So that's when we grouped them by color.
Then the next step, after we sorted them by color, we were asked to label them. So we went back to our groups, and we knew that all the fruits and veggies were separated by color. So we went ahead and labeled them by color. So we labeled our first group green, and then the next one, the next one, and the next one.
And the fourth step, I asked them different questions to help them interpret their groupings and also make new generalizations. So the goal was to lead them into generalizing different food groups, so specifically fruits or vegetables in this example. And so first I asked them about characteristics that they saw, things they saw in common, and I caught on that they noticed they said we could sort by different kinds of foods, and I used that as my leading question to help them generalize that there were different food groups in the pictures that I gave them. And so other examples of questions you could use, I'm just going to read a few, include what do you see, which ones belong together and why, what do you notice about one of the groups, what similarities and differences do you see, how do you know it's a fruit or vegetable, what do you think would happen if, what evidence would you use to support your guess, and what can we say is generally true about fruits or veggies. So these are just all examples of basically open-ended questions that get students thinking about those generalizations that they can make and apply for resorting and making new groups. And that's the goal of this model, is for students to make those generalizations on their own. And these questions and also the sentence frames help lead them in that direction.
The fifth step is the students now regroup pictures and apply the new generalizations that they made about the content. So that's when Kaylani at the end had us go back in our group and regroup our pictures in a different way. And this time, through the discussions, we were able to regroup them as fruits and as vegetables. And then in other models of thinking, you usually get the rule first, and then you give the students examples of how the rule applies. But in inductive thinking model, you give the students examples, and hopefully they come up with and discover the rule themselves. So we wanted to include this to show how these 5 thinking models were included when we were thinking about how to put this inductive thinking lesson together.
And hooray, now we know about the inductive thinking model. And thank you for watching our video. We hope you guys can use this knowledge, and we would love to learn how do you think you can apply the inductive thinking model within your own lesson. So thanks for watching.
Thank you.